I'm Legend, I play this game professionally, so I can probably hit rank 1. Welcome back to another episode of Road to Rank 1, and I am going to be playing against a Shaman deck. We know that it's going to be a Nature OTK Shaman, that's the one everybody is playing, so I decided to keep the Hammer and Call to the stand. The Hammer is so I can kill off some totems and gain some armor, and the Call to the stand is some counterplay, right? Maybe we can snipe the Titan before they're able to draw a bunch of cards, maybe we can snipe the Radiance of whatever, the 3 mana 3/4 that makes nature spells cost 1 less, and that could possibly mess up their combo, or maybe we can snipe the 1 mana 3/2 that gives them spell damage and has overload, because that could be a little bit of extra damage, could be relevant. So, they play the Chisel, very normal. I play the Weapons Expert to draw the second Hammer because I think that hammers are going to be very important in this game, killing off multiple things. And they play 2/2/3s. And I'm like, what the hell? Why do you run Prescience? What big minions are you running? I mean, maybe Inza. But that means they're not running Tour Guide to make a free totem. Like, there's no way. Then they play Inza, and I'm like, okay, that's the one I knew, right? But now I'm thinking, okay, do I want to call to the stand and hit whatever this other big minion is? Maybe it's like Glug, and Glug is an extra win condition. I can snipe it and then play Brawl, because it's probably one of their only minions in their hand at this point, and it'll be great. But instead, I just kill off both of their minions, save a durability on my weapon, and just wait a little bit. I want to test the waters, wait and see what happens. Then all they do is hit, play another Chisel, and then Hero Power. A very lackluster turn for them. And since I draw another Call to the Stand, I'm pretty sure that I don't play Call to the Stand this turn. That's a little bit weird. I thought I was going to, but no. I play the 2/3 drops because actually that is a lot more mana efficient. That was my bad. I think I end up playing Call to the Stand next turn. A little bit of a spoiler alert. They're gonna kill my 3/2 and play the Scalding Geyser. Which again, I'm like, why? You don't wanna run non-nature spells because nature spells do a lot of damage, have overload, and are just good in general. But you know what? Maybe there's something I'm missing, right? So, we let them play a couple more totems. And then on my turn, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let's play Call to the Stand and see what it is. And it's the Thing from Below. Which makes sense because, like, it's a 0 mana card that you can play on your big combo turn with Bioluminescence, which makes sense, but it's still confusing because it feels like such a weird, like, card to put in your deck. I feel like there are better options, but maybe that's just me. And I end up playing Verse Rift to give myself enough attack to kill the 5/5, but before I do it, I play the Stone Skin Armor to draw some extra cards, and I get ETC, which is nice. We kill off their big taunt minion, and we kill off another minion. And then again, their turn 8 is literally just totem and pass, which makes me think that they're trying to like wait for the spell that makes nature spells cost less. It's not Lightning Reflexes, it's the other one. And I'm like, okay, well, at this point, they have a full hand of cards, so I'm gonna play ETC, a card that I put in my deck after the first couple of games, and take the Disruptive Spellbreaker. People were telling me to take Theatar, but Disruptive Spellbreaker is the one that I can play right now with the coin. And I would rather play a card right now with the coin to apply pressure and also some disruption than take Theatar and possibly play him next turn. They discard a Lightning Bolt, which is super relevant. That is about, depending on how many Bioluminescences they have, it's usually about 10 to 19 damage with those Lightning Bolts, which is huge, especially considering I didn't get the most armor this game. Then they play their Flash of Lightning, which is not great, and then they play Altered Chord, which is really tilting. I was hoping they wouldn't have one, but you know what? Having one makes sense, right? Having one makes sense. They've drawn through about half of their deck at this point. I play Call to the Stand hoping to hit the Titan or something, and I hit another freaking Thing from Below. I'm thinking, okay, I want to figure out a way to kill this. None of the cards in my hand right now are useful except for maybe the Forge card. And I end up getting really nothing that useful. Odin's pretty cool, but I can't play it this turn. So I'm thinking, what do I want to do here? I need to trade into the 5/5, but before I do that, I play Shield Block because drawing cards first is always correct, and we get another Disruptive Spellbreaker to make him discard a card. We kill off the 5/5, we kill off the one with attack. We get rid of Feral Spirits, which is not great, but again, could be relevant for Bioluminescence. They're probably gonna summon a bunch of totems, so it's not the most relevant thing in the world, but it's fine. Then they draw more cards, and they draw more cards, and then they trade and draw more cards. play Prescience, and I'm like, okay, as long as this 4/6 lives, I'm chilling. And then they play Altered Chord for 1 mana, which is so sad, the fact that they got both of them that early on. But it's fine, I guess. We got rid of a Lightning Bolt and a Feral Spirits, which could be relevant for Prescience reasons, because there's less minions on the board. So maybe, just maybe, I can still win the game. So I draw a card, I play Bash on a couple of different minions, and I hope that it's enough. Or Heavy Plates, sorry, not 2 Bashes, I play 2 Heavy Plates, and I hope that this is enough armor. I currently have 66 HP. I got rid of a Lightning Bolt. There is no fucking way they kill me, right? And they play that and they draw more Overload cards. And I'm thinking, God, that's one of those is a Lightning Bolt for sure. But they didn't commit to a bunch of nature cards after playing the Flash of Lightning card, right? So they're going to lose the mana cheat that they had from that turn, which actually gives me a little bit of hope, because I'm like, okay, that's sick. Then they play another Feral Spirits and they start trying to flood the board here, and which makes me think maybe they want to play like a Prescience next turn and they just don't expect me to have removal or anything like that. What I do this turn is I kill the 2/3 with my 3/3, bash the other 2/3, shield slam the 5/7, and then kill the 1/1 with my 1/1. And then I play Talon because I kind of want to draw Ignis because the weapon could be relevant. Summoning minions, one of the effects of the Ignis weapon can be gain armor whenever you attack. And I'm like, okay, if I can get the 5-cost weapon that gains me 4 armor whenever I attack, could be important. At this point, I have 70 health. There is no way that I die. Right? Absolutely no shot. I refuse to believe it. We play Odin. We hero power because we might as well play the 8/8. There's no reason not to. And we just hit him in the face a little bit. And at this point, I'm thinking 72 HP. I'm chilling. By the way, like a couple of days ago, I took 76 damage on turn 7 to an Overload Shaman. So I was thinking it's possible that I still die. But in my head, I'm thinking there's no way. But then they summon a bunch of totems. And then they Bioluminescence. And then they fucking Bioluminescence again. They hit me with Scalding Geyser for 16, Lightning Bolt, and then they hit me with another Lightning Bolt, or Overdraft, sorry. I got rid of the Lightning Bolt. And then they end their turn! They didn't do that much damage. I have 24 HP left. I'm thinking, okay, the only thing I have to do now is wipe their board, which I already know that I can do because I have Bladestorm in my hand. I kill 1 minion, 2 minions, kill both of the minions that only have 1 HP, Bladestorm to kill the other totems, and they're out of cards. The game should be over, right? Oh, Lightning Reflexes could be disastrous, depending on what they end up discovering. Lightning Bolt, not that big of a deal. But Command of Neptulon maybe is, depending on how much they get. Crash of Thunder, and then another Crash of Thunder to wipe my board. So now they have 2 5/4s out on the board. I don't really have that many cards, but it's enough. I get a 10 mana weapon with Lifesteal at this point because I am low on HP, and it doesn't really matter. I play the weapon on turn 10. I already know I can survive this turn, so it's fine. I could play Brawl, but instead I just killed the 0/2, Shield Slam the 5/4, and there's nothing the opponent can really do at that point. They just concede. So next up, we have a game against a Mage, and I keep the Bellowing Flames and Bash because they're pretty good at dealing with volatile skeletons. A lot of the times what Mage will do on turn 2 is play the weapon, and then turn 4, it'll be Cold Case, and that's going to give him a 4/4 and 2 2/2s, so it's just nice having a little bit of extra removal for that. Turn 2, I Forge instead of hero powering because all they have is a 1/2. It's not really that threatening. And then they play Molten Rune, which already has been forged. And at this point, I've actually taken a pretty decent amount of damage. So instead of just playing it slow and hero powering or doing something else, I coin out the weapon to kill the 1/2, just to set up the weapon for the Cold Case turn next turn, but also to gain a little bit of armor because, again, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I've already taken 9 against a deck that is known for doing a lot of damage very quickly in an OTK. The Arcane Bolt me, probably for another Spell School for synergy, and then I can take this turn to play slow. I play Shield Block and Hero Power. Then they play Lady Najar, which I think is kind of a staple at this point, but at the time when I played against it, I was like, wait, why are they running this? But the mana chi is very important. But I was kind of scared of a 5/5, so I just shield slam it because I don't want to take any extra damage. Hero power, and I pass the turn. Turn 6, they play a 1/3 to discover a spell, play a Hunter Secret, and then they play Volume Up. Volume Up is in its finale form because the Lady Najar reduced its cost to 3, and since they had 3 mana left, they get 4 cards instead of just 3, which is a bit of a bummer. We were able to kill the 1/3 with my weapon, and then I hero power, and I'm pretty sure that's all I do for that turn because I don't want to waste anything. Them losing that Flame Geyser, very relevant. After they play Sif, especially if they have reverberations for Sif, it can be anywhere from 8, 9, or 10 damage upwards to 18 damage sometimes. So very, very lucky that they lost that. They play Cold Case, Flash of Lightning, which is a nature spell, which helps their spell schools and thin their deck, and then they play a 1/2. Now this next turn I make a bit of a misplay. I hit the 1/2 with my weapon, and then I play Bladestorm. I don't think I needed to play Bladestorm against 2 small minions. I could have maybe just like bashed both of them or something, which would have probably been more efficient. But I did want to play my weapon, so I couldn't have played both bashes and play the weapon. I chose Bladestorm, but that does come to bite me in the butt a little bit. This is one of the reasons. They play double Cold Case, so Bladestorm would be way better here. Instead, I just end up double bashing. I don't play Odin because that is a lot of damage on the board, so bash, hit with my weapon, gain some armor, and wipe the board is nice. And then they play a 1/3 and draw a bunch of cards with Wisdom of Narganin. Don't exactly know how to pronounce that. If I mispronounced it, I apologize. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad of a board. I don't really care too much. And then they reverb on their 2/2, which is like the stupidest possible thing they could have done because reverberations is so important for Sif, especially after reducing its cost to 2 mana. Actually, a massive misplay that could possibly lose them a game if I don't gain enough armor. So this turn, since I'm not really threatened that much and I have a lot of armor, I actually just end up playing Odin because I don't really have anything better to do. And summoning an 8/8, I mean, we could do worse than summoning an 8/8. And also, if I'm able to attack with it, I can bait out Wandering Monster, Freezing Trap, or Explosive if the 8/8 does happen to live. Unfortunately, it doesn't. The Volatile Skeletons both hit it, and then they summon a bunch of 4/5s. And this is where I wish I had Bladestorm. I used it too early. This is going to force me to Brawl this turn. I mean, Brawl's still fine. It's still a board wipe. But if I had had 2 extra mana left up, not only would the only minion be alive right now be a 4/1, not a 4/5 and a 4/1. So not only would I have killed 1 extra minion, but I also would have been able to hero power at the end of that turn, gaining a little bit of extra armor, which again is relevant against an OTK deck that can do quite a bit of damage in 1 turn. They play Volume Up after playing the Artificer to gain a little bit of armor, and this is the main reason why playing Odin isn't always the best win condition in this matchup. They can gain a lot of armor and solid alibis, which I think they also play this turn, makes it almost impossible to kill them with giant big attacks. So it's just gaining armor and trying to disrupt them with cards like the Disruptive Spellbreaker. We are able to kill off all of the minions with my Forged card and then play Disruptive Spellbreaker and hit them in the face. They discard a Flame Geyser. Again, very relevant card. It can do anywhere from 8 to like 18 damage if you reverb a Lady Sif. So the fact that they lost that is quite a bit of damage. And it actually ends up keeping me alive at this point in the game. They play Sif, they play Molten Rune. It does quite a bit of damage. They play the Arcane Bolt. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh shoot, I don't have that much armor. I could still die to the 4/6, so I have to kill it by forging my card, killing it. I can't use Shield Slam, which is a bit unfortunate, but whatever. And instead of attacking with the 4/6 and maybe triggering a Freezing Trap, I decide to not attack with the 4/6. And also, instead of drawing cards, I decide to play Verse Rift. I've played Verse Rift because I want to get every little bit of armor that I can, just in case they like randomly generated some extra damage from Molten Rune. Even if it didn't happen to be a 1 mana card, they could have randomly generated a larger damage spell, which could have been problematic. They play Reverberations on my 4/6, kill my 4/6, and then reverb it again and make me discard not 1 but both of my spells, which is very, very impactful to me at this point. And I'm thinking I might lose. The next turn, I hero power first, and then I play the Stone Skin Armor to draw some cards, see if I find anything relevant. I don't really, so I kill off 1 of the Disruptives, spell breakers, and then I heavy plate to gain armor. And at this point, I feel okay, but still a little bit worried because they've infinitized the Maxitude, which could be quite a lot of resources. And look at that, boom, they summon another minion off of a randomly generated big damage spell, and that 3/6 is very threatening. But I realize instead of playing Ignis, playing Shield Block and Hero Powering to kill the 3/6 is important, because they only have 1 card left in their deck, and they only have 4 cards left in total. If they discard 2 of their cards, they're going to lose half of the playable cards they have left. Meanwhile, me, yeah, I lose cards, but I can only play 2 a turn because the spell could be, or the secret could be motion denied. So I'm already not playing that many spells. So killing Rin, making them discard some cards is pretty relevant. They lose Infinitize the Maxitude, which loses them all of their value, and a removal, which isn't useful. I lose Bladestorm, which is kind of important for the 4/6, but not like the most important thing. And with the little bit of mana I have left, I play Ignis because I want to get a weapon, then choose Lifesteal and deal 4 damage, just in case I wanted to play something else. So I play the Runic Axe to deal 4 damage, and the reason why I chose deal 4 damage instead of gain armor whenever I attack was because at the time, I wanted to kill the 4/6 with deal 4 damage, and then also kill the 3/4 so I could kill both minions at the same time. Instead, I decided to kill the 4/4 though, because the 4/6 dies to 1 damage, and also, it's just not really that relevant. All I'm gonna lose is an Execute, which doesn't do anything at this point, and they can still